Today, we're diving into something massive, a seismic shift in global trade that could reshape economies for years to come. It's all about India's $500 billion opportunity in the US-China trade war. That's right. While the two biggest economies slug it out, India is stepping into the ring as a major player, so buckle up because this is a wild ride. Let's break it down. First, let's set the stage. The US and China are locked in a trade showdown. The US has slapped a 125% tariff on all Chinese imports. China's hitting back with 84% levies on American goods. It's chaos for supply chains, and companies are scrambling to find new partners. Enter India, the country perfectly positioned to cash in on this upheaval. How? Let's talk strategy, economics, and some serious diplomatic wins. All right, let's start with the big picture. The US-China trade war isn't just about money, it's about power. In India, it's becoming a key ally for the US, encountering China's influence. Think about it. Washington sees India as a critical partner in everything from security in the Indo-Pacific to cutting-edge tech like AI and semiconductors. They're even talking about advanced US military gear for India. That's a big deal. Here's the kicker. While China's getting hammered with tariffs, the US has paused new duties on India for 90 days. That's a golden window for New Delhi to lock in trade deals and deepen ties. Indian officials are calling it a relief, and they're not wrong. India is playing this smart, staying out of the crossfire and pitching itself as a stable, reliable partner. Unlike China, which is burning bridges, India is building them, with the US, Europe, Japan, you name it. This isn't just talk. India's global image is soaring. Experts are saying India is central to the US strategy, whether it's guiding companies to dodge tariffs or leading coalitions like the Quad. While China's stuck in diplomatic quicksand, India is emerging as a trusted, rule-following democracy. That's the kind of soft power that pays off big time. Now, let's get to the juicy part, the economic wins. The US-China tariffs are shaking up global trade, and India's grabbing a huge slice of the pie. When tariffs hit Chinese goods, American buyers start looking elsewhere. Guess who's stepping up? India. In fact, India's exports to the US have already jumped 46% in the last 4 years, hitting $77.5 billion total trade, a whopping $190 billion a year. Here's the deal. Experts say India could snag an extra $25 billion in exports just because of this trade war. Why? Companies are adopting a China plus one strategy, keeping some production in China but moving new factories to places like India, and India is ready for it. The government's rolling out incentives like the production-linked incentive schemes to lure big players in electronics, pharmaceuticals, and more. Apple's suppliers are already setting up shop in India. That's huge. This isn't just about exports, it's about investment. With Chinese manufacturing getting pricier, global firms are pouring money into India. New factories, new jobs, new supply chains. It's a game changer. Plus, India is buying more from the US, like oil and gas, which keeps the trade balanced. Last year, the US-India trade deficit was $45.6 billion, way smaller and less contentious than the US-China gap. It's a win-win. So, which Indian industries are riding this wave? Let's break it down. First up, manufacturing and electronics. US tariffs make Chinese goods expensive, so India is stepping in with everything from phones to auto parts. With new semiconductor plants and incentives, India's eyeing a chunk of the electronics market China used to dominate. Next, believe it or not, agriculture. India's shrimp exporters are thrilled because tariffs give them an edge in the US market. And if China cuts back on US farm goods, India could supply cotton or soybean meal to other buyers. It's not the biggest sector, but it's a sneaky win. Then there's energy. India's buying billions in US oil, gas, and coal. $15 billion last year alone, maybe $25 billion soon. Why? China's tariffs on US energy give India a chance to snap up cheap fuel. Plus, both countries are teaming up on critical minerals like lithium to break China's grip on green tech. Smart move. And don't sleep on digital trade. India's IT giants are landing huge contracts as US firms shift away from Chinese tech. AI, cloud services, fintech. India's got the talent, and the US trusts them. Add in new deals on semiconductors, and India's tech sector is set to explode. Now, here's the big vision. India and the US want to double their trade to $500 billion by 2030. Sounds ambitious, right? But they're serious. They're racing to sign a trade deal by late 2025, tackling tariffs and market access. India's already cut duties on U.S. goods like motorcycles. Remember Trump's Harley-Davidson rant? And the U.S. might ease up on visas or standards to help Indian exporters. This isn't just talk. Both sides are investing in energy, defense, tech, you name it. India's playing it smart, balancing its interests while opening up. If they pull this off, $500 billion is in sight, and it'll reshape both economies. The clock's ticking, but the momentum's there. While India's soaring, China's hitting rough waters. U.S. tariffs have slashed Chinese exports from $505 billion in 2018 to $439 billion last year. That's a huge drop. Orders are shifting to Vietnam, Mexico, and yes, India. Chinese firms are slashing prices, moving factories abroad, and losing ground in electronics and machinery. It's not just trade. China's losing friends. Its aggressive tariffs and crackdowns on U.S. firms have spooked investors. Europe and Asia are teaming up with the U.S. to de-risk from China. Meanwhile, India's in the Quad, signing deals and looking like the world's new best friend. It's a stark contrast. So what's the takeaway? The U.S.-China trade war is redrawing the global map, and India's seizing the moment. From exports to investments to diplomacy, India's playing its cards right. But it's not a done deal. India needs to scale up factories, nail those trade talks, and keep the momentum going. If it does, that $500 billion target isn't just a dream. It's the start of India as a global trade powerhouse.